how does a professional basketball player take a love for coffee and literally make a huge business out of it?
I think it starts with boredom, and then comes competition, and the fact that I want to try and be the best at everything. And obviously, my love for coffee, it kind of like drives that. So, from when the bubble started, I wanted to be the best barista, and now Big Face brand, Big Face coffee is a real thing, and I'm just trying to get the best coffee and the best experience out to the world.
It's one thing, though, Jimmy, to be a connoisseur, a fan, somebody who enjoys a product, somebody who enjoys a hobby, but it's a complete different thing to take that passion and that drive and that particular set of, I guess, overarching positivity about something in your life and making a commercial enterprise out of it. What exactly was the initial conversation like with yourself and maybe the closest people to you about how you were going to make this happen?
I think the conversation all started with a literal conversation because that's where my love for coffee grew. It made me realize that I have so much in common with so many other individuals around the world. If you start that basis off of coffee, whether I drink it with oat milk or almond milk, a flat white, a latte, a cappuccino, it's something that you can always sit down and talk to somebody about and figure out what you have in common instead of what you do not have in common. And that's what this whole thing was built off of, is trying to bring individuals together, laughing and having a good time, no matter if you drink iced coffee, hot coffee, cold brew, and sit down, have a conversation, and realize how alike you are as individuals.
So, Jimmy, there are so many folks out there in America, in the world, who have great ideas. I mean, great ideas abound in this world right now, but it's completely different in terms of having a great idea and then actually making something out of it, turning it into a business, right? So what exactly was it like? I mean, right now, we know that it was just about a little over a year ago, right now, back in 2021, October of 2021, that you launched Big Face Coffee. So it's been a little
hmm
over a year now. What exactly should our audience know about what it takes to actually execute? What's the game plan to actually get a
Uh,
business going from something that you are passionate about?
I think the first step in that game plan is to like kind of walk out on that limb and realize that it's not going to be easy. But if you love it, you're going to make this thing work. You're going to push it to grow, and you're going to do all the steps necessary to make it successful. And the second thing that I really, really learned is it definitely helps to have a great team alongside you and other individuals that have other ideas, because whether you like to hear it or not, your ideas slash my ideas are not always the best ones. Not everybody wants what I want at the same time, like when I want it. And I think that is the basis of all of this. So many ideas that come to life because I have other individuals around me that are helping.
So one of the other things too is when it comes to a business, it may look different these days, and the pandemic and technology may have made things look a little bit different than it has in the past. But ultimately, selling product is about putting a storefront out there, right? In the old days, it might have been a lemonade stand or a spot in the mall or something like that. These days, technology has made e-commerce a bigger part of that story. You've got a very high-profile partnership with an e-commerce platform that is Shopify, and that has helped you
hmm
enable some of the commerce that you are doing right now. Maybe take us through how that relationship started and what exactly an e-commerce platform can do for the reach of your product and the reach of your goods.
It does a lot because Shopify really made my idea as an e-commerce make sense. Like I had all of these different ideas and I didn't know how to really bring it to life. And that partnership, which was brought to the table by, my trainer, business partner, his name is James. He does everything for me, on the basketball side as well. But they made that transition like legit flawless, and everything looked so great. I was so comfortable in the way that our business model was like moving along, and I think they helped me to bring this entrepreneur idea to life. I could not have done it without Shopify. I tell them more often than they probably like how grateful I really am, because I had so many people in my corner that were wanting me to be successful, along with myself. And they were huge when you're talking about like bringing this thing to life as well. And it's just been, not easy. I don't want to say easy, but it hasn't been as difficult with Shopify in my corner.
So there are a host of celebrities, and there have been throughout the course of history, that have lent their name, image, likeness, their reputation, their aura, if you will, to products to try to sell things, right? A lot of athletes have done it in the past. Yours is slightly different. This isn't just about you lending your name to something. You're passionate about coffee. How involved does a successful entrepreneur need to be in the business in order to make them feel like that business can grow into a hugely viable operation, a standalone entity on its own at some point in its life?
I feel like you have to be involved in everything. When it comes to me, I want to be in every Zoom call, in every meeting, on every sourcing trip, no matter where it is, anywhere around the world, just because I want to let people know, like, yes, my name is in it, on it, it's a part of it, but I'm actually in it. I'm actually with it. I'm going to these places, and I'm learning more and more every single day. And I think that that's the most important part. It's not just my name. Like I really put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I love it. I want to be the best. I want to bring the best product to the world, and that's why I do what I do. And I really do love it. I really do want to be the best barista one day. I'm not kidding. I want to take classes. I want to go to these barista throwdowns and do all the latte art. That's where the love started. Now it's just growing to a business aspect of things, but I'm still a competitor, and I still want to have the best coffee on the market. And one day when I do open up my cafe coffee shop, I want to be back there actually doing everything. So I got a long way to go. Championship here with basketball first, but be on the lookout for a BIGFACE cafe.
All right. So so that's the next big question, right? Champions, no matter where they are in sports, in business, elsewhere throughout life, many of them have a vision for what it's going to be like, what it's going to do for them, what they want it to look like at the end of the day. This is going to be for you part of your life after basketball. And for a lot of folks these days, especially athletes, that life after a sport oftentimes can take on a bigger role than the sport itself. What's your ultimate vision for BIGFACE Coffee and what it could end up growing to be?
I want cafes all over the world. I want everybody to be able to just sit down, have a latte, have an iced coffee, with individuals that you've never seen before, but they're in there for a reason. You can sit, you can talk, you can build relationships, maybe start a business with somebody that's sitting 2 tables over from you. Just sit down and like legit have a conversation, talk about where you're from, what you love to do, all your hobbies, the latest book that you've read. So many things can spark up a conversation to where you realize, man, we could really be really, really, really good friends, and that's my vision. This is where this started for me, and I want to let everybody in on that secret that over a cup of coffee, like incredible relationships are bonded, and those are for a lifetime, and it just starts with a cup of coffee.
So Jimmy, I mean, it's easy for all of us to see just how passionate, just how excited you are about this business, this passion, this entrepreneurial venture for you. That's not a difficult thing to grasp. What is for a lot of other entrepreneurs is the things that scare you about being an entrepreneur, about having a business of your own. So maybe take us through what things you think are the hurdles for you, or the things that the things that keep you up the most at night, I guess is the best way to put it.
Honestly, for me, I think the biggest one is comparing. I don't try to compare BIGFACE brand, BIGFACE Coffee to anybody. It's its own thing. I don't want it to be like this brand or that brand. I want it to be the best version of what myself and my team can bring to life. I think whenever you start to compare, you really lose the greatness of so many different brands. Like, we're not meant to be like brand A or brand B or brand C or brand D. We're just the BIGFACE brand. Just don't compare. Just do what you do. Remember why you're doing it. Stick to that. And success is literally on the other side of very, very hard, because this has been very, very hard. But that's the fun part of it, because nothing worth having is easy. And it's been like that throughout my life, for sure in basketball. But this is another one. And I know if I can do it in one thing, I can do it in many others.